Rob Chappers.
And I'm the captain.
And I'm Rabea.
And
we're at Andertons. And we figured, since I'm off to Norway in March to interview and potentially play with Steve Vai,
Which is sick.
and we're both huge Steve Vai and Joe Satriani fans, and someone said on YouTube, wouldn't it be cool to do like Vai versus Joe, which is almost nigh on an impossibility because they're both such big influences, wonderful people and great tonal experts. We figured we'd give it a go.
so I thought it would be cool to try and get Rob set up with a rig that was close to something Steve Vai would sound like. A little bit more tricky recently because Andertons has never stocked carve-in amplifiers, and Steve, in fact, carve-in amps have gone bust, I think, haven't they? So he'll be looking for a new amp brand as we speak. So we've kind of picked Hughes & Kettner Tubemeister Deluxe 40, some pedals on the floor, which we'll talk about, and of course, this glorious 30th anniversary Gem 777 in shocking pink.
It really is glorious, isn't it?
It is glorious.
We actually did start out with me trying the EVH.
Yes.
But it was just it didn't quite have the rounded, smooth warmth that Steve requires and uses to such a degree.
It's that liquid gain sound, isn't it? It was too hard. It was a bit brash, wasn't
He likes
it, really?
that smooth, warm, liquidy tone.
So hope you guys like what we've done here. If you don't, then obviously comment in what other amps we perhaps could have used that were similar to Carvin. Who knows? It'd be by the time this video comes out, maybe Steve will have announced who his new amp partner's going to be. Anyway, and so yes, and in the other corner, Rabea Massad, tell us about the guitar you've got.
This is the Joe Satriani signature model.
JS 2450.
JS 2450, because I remembered that. And it's in muscle car purple, I believe. And to be fair to it, it's a beast. And I really, really like the colour. And I love the way it looks. And I'm running that straight into a JVM 410 by Marshall Amplification, which was my first valve amplifier ever. And I love it very much.
And is currently pretty much what Joe Satriani is using.
Interesting duo of firsts then, because Gem, Floral 7, Gem, Floral 1, the 7.7, was one of my first ever real guitars. And I spent, from the age of about 17 to the age of about 21, playing nothing but the Gem.
Well, take us through that, because we'll talk about the guitar and we'll talk about what it was about Steve Vai that you sort of fell in love with. So, I said this is a reissue of the original Gem. So, what's cool about this?
Well, what's cool is the neck profile is mega flat. It's wide. It's got beautiful big jumbo frets. There's something about the feel of a neck on the Gems that it's just, there's nothing else quite like it. It's the kind of wizard vibe. You know, you're a wizard, Harry. You can shred now.
I'm a what?
I should have been with the Will track. You're a wizard, Harry. You can So it just has that soaring, effortless feel. Maple, pyramids that disappear. Why wouldn't you want pyramids? 30th anniversary. It's a 3-piece neck, as you can see. I'm not sure what the in-between piece is. Could even be
Brown
carbon.
wood.
It'll definitely affect the tone, that's for sure.
Well, it could even be carbon fibre. I don't know. And then. Who doesn't want to carry their guitar to work?
That's so
I mean, it's the coolest thing
invention ever. Yeah.
If you could just put your sandwiches in the back as well, I thought that would
Trim
have been
cavity.
I always loved that Steve got at the top 4. I mean, I love Steve, and his music has been a massive influence in my life. But he must have needle-sized fingers to be able to feel the difference of these 4 frets. I don't know.
It's kind of like when you get right up to the top of the fretboard and you're hanging on for dear life to the end of that lick. With the extra bit of scalloped fretboard, I imagine it just gives you a bit more grip, doesn't it?
Well, let's find out.
That looks amazing.
Well, fair play. I mean, that actually does seem to... That kind of works. You couldn't do that on many guitars.
It's that high that it sounds like you're playing through a whammy.
It does.
That's how high it is,
Cool.
But the cool thing with these beautiful pickups and the woods and the pink...
Doesn't have to be pink. I think there's 3 colours in the 30th anniversary ones.
Oh, it should be pink.
Okay.
Is the way it rolls off to that kind of creamy warmth.
Nice.
I'm putting you on the spot here, Mr. Rob, but what was or is, in your opinion, the classic Steve Vai tune?
Right, so I go way back to Steve because I'm old.
Yes.
So for me, I listened to a lot of his stuff that he played before Passion and Warfare, and also to some extent the Zappa stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, the first tune I ever heard of when someone said, "Oh yeah, Steve Vai's in that," was, and if anyone knows this tune, I'll be absolutely amazed. But it was a tune called "Return of the Hunchback Duke" on a really obscure Zappa album, and there was this random kind of South American Mexican trumpet solo that just, I was like, what the actual living hell is this? This is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. And then my friend Ian went, Steve Vai's in that band. I went, well, who's he? And he went, he's this ridiculous guitar player. And then he gave me a cassette copy of Passion and Warfare.
The album.
And he put on this track.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That's incredible. Just the way he was playing it, he was so spanky, and then he flies off into the lead, and I was just like, this guy is such a technician, and he's not doing the mainstay of rock and roll blues licks that I was loving from people like Peter Green and all the blues dudes. He was doing, to me at the time, I didn't understand modes, so I didn't know it was Lydian, mixed Lydian, you know, he was sort of all that kind of modal stuff. To me was this whole new world that was being unravelled, and it just left me dazed. And I remember listening to Passion and Warfare in bed with my headphones on and genuinely being afraid at certain parts because it was such a big experience, you know, with all the bubbling sounds and the fish.
He without a doubt had a unique sound. It was obvious when it was Vi playing, you know what I mean? And like, because for me that album, it was all about the audiences listening. That's such a tune, that opening riff.
Yeah.
And Blue Powder.
Loudest person I ever heard live too. We heard live.
Yeah. Saw him at the Brighton Dome and I was deaf afterwards.
It was so loud.
Yeah.
What is it about the guitar, you think, and the pedals and the amp and everything that makes his sound
it's
sound?
really high gain, but there's a clarity to it. So we're going to have to play a little bit of For the Love of God, aren't we?
Yes, I will help you, I hope.
Guarantee I'm going to get a lot of this wrong, but we'll just play a little bit.
And what pedals and amp and everything? What's the setup?
Just emulating classic Steve from the sort of 80s, early 90s. So it's just a Hall of Fame reverb. It's a Boss DD5.
Yep.
And I got a CE2, although he's not a massive chorus user, really. I've got a CE2. It's not on yet, but it will be on later on.
And we chose the Tubemeister again because it seemed to have that smoother gain, didn't it?
So that compressed saturation, isn't it? Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll try accompany you, Rob. I don't know this, but I'll try.
I'll put links to this guitar. If you're wondering, you know, what pickups and what's the spec and everything, I'll put links in the description below. You can go and check them all out.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 9, 2, 3. I made a complete ruinous hash of that.
I never played
do you know-
backing guitar for that song. It was good. It sounded all right.
You know what this sounds like? You'd be absolutely forgiven for thinking this had some sort of Fernandez Sustainiac in it, wouldn't you?
Lots
It's
of
his
Sustainiac.
sound.
Well, what happens is that it turns into a really musical feedback. So, for example, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It turns into that. That sounded like Flying in a Blue Dream, didn't it?
That was well
And we're
good.
not crazy loud in here either. Anyway,
No,
look.
no. Wait, there's more. So, Lion Claw. Steve did this cool thing where he took his own guitar, did his own things to it. Eventually it became an Ibanez, but he routed out the back behind the trem so that he could do stupid things.
Right, I never knew why that was there.
It's his invention. He
yeah,
did
so
that.
he can grab the back of the trem.
Oh, yeah. So-
It's like a toy, a really musical toy.
And pretty much.
It's pretty much in
Pretty
tune.
much
Not
it.
quite, but pretty much.
I mean, you definitely hammered that Floyd.
And fair play to Ibanez for making sure that they've kept the quality of the guitars up to the standard that Steve Vai wanted. And his relationship for them over 30 years has been enduring, really. He's not endorsed another guitar brand, as far as I'm aware. He's
I know,
obviously
a guy
very
like
happy.
Steve could have gone with anybody.
Could have gone with anyone. And, you know, but anyway, look, so
Joe.
that was the pink corner.
So, Joe.
Over to the purple corner. Mr. Rabea, please tell us about your guitar, and then we'll talk about what it was that you liked about Satch, Mr. Satch.
Okay, so this JS2450, well, for a start, obviously the shape is massively different to the RG shape, as you can see. I think this is one of Joe's kind of ideas, very, very ergonomic, very smooth and rounded, and it's got a really deep cutaway, so you can get right up to that 24th fret. It's pretty nice. The neck, as well, I think is probably quite a bit fatter than the Gem. I don't know. Give it a grab,
yeah.
Rob. Give it a grab.
Oh, Joe's got a big end.
Right.
That's more. That neck wouldn't be out of place on a Strat or something, would it? Whereas this one would be more. That's more traditional. Ibanez.
More of a deep sort of C kind of feel to it. And again, the fretboard is a little bit more rounded. It's a little bit more. It feels a bit Fendery, like you say. Pickups wise. With regards to the pickups, as we all know, Joe Satriani's had a long-standing relationship with DiMarzio. And it was, I don't know how long ago it was now that he released his newer signature models where he started putting the single coil humbucker in the neck. But to be fair, you know, Joe Satriani's known for that kind of bluesy, bitey tone as well. And that pickup in particular really, really sorts you out for that. And of course, you can split them both down. And much like the Gem as well, the Floyd on it, super smooth. In fact, there's something I have to say about Ibanez guitars is they've nailed that really buttery smooth Floyd Rose feel with this sort of carbon fibre sort of handle on
that?
it. It's massive, isn't it? It's
That's
huge.
a different trem to the.
It's much lighter.
Is it a different
It's a
trem?
much lighter weight tremolo bar. Yeah, mine is metal.
It comes with both.
But the bar is different. It's carbon
I think the
fibre
trem
bar.
system's the same.
Yeah, no, you're right. The trem system's the same. It is just the bar's different, isn't it?
Yeah. But just generally, like, the feel of the guitar is way more my kind of vibe, for sure. And again, running it into a Marshall, it just does really nice things.
So tell us about some of the obviously Joe's been using Marshall for ages. Again, another guy whose relationship with Ibanez has really endured right from the beginning.
Of them, yeah.
Pedals wise, what's your kind of, how have you got like a Satch kind of tone?
So he has that very MIDI kind of Marshall-y tone anyway, and he has done for a long time. So I guess on the amplifier I'm using the JVM 410 on the first overdrive channel on the orange gain stage, which was always my favourite channel on that amp, but it's really, really good for the shreddy, dirty kind of high gain stuff. And then I guess with all these 80s hair metal shred dudes, it was reverb and delay by the bucket load to get the just the tone. So I've got an MXR carbon copy using the built-in reverb. And of course, Satriani, especially on the first couple of records, was mega into his chorus, wasn't he?
And like jazzy Dorian jams.
Yeah, totally.
Why don't you do a bit of that, bro?
Cool. All right, let's have a little listen. Something like that.
We're both fans of both
Yes,
camps.
we are.
So my favourite Joe Satriani tune, probably as a kid, first time I saw it was the Live in Seville.
Same. To be fair, that was the first time I saw him.
We were just like, oh,
Not live, of course, because I was 4. But
and it was this, if I can play it. Bit of Satch
yeah,
Boogie.
it was such a tune. That was his opening tune on that concert as well, wasn't it?
And it was the absolutely ridiculous.
It's like both of them are just so good at the whole. That's definitely Satch. That's definitely vibe playing, isn't it?
What is your favourite all-time Satch tune?
Well, my favourite Satch record is The Extremist.
Okay.
I got given that by my friend when I first started playing guitar, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? Having no idea about shreddy guitar, whammy tricks, all the crazy stuff. That was amazing because like the first couple of tracks, and you're hearing all these crazy sounds, like that plane takeoff. That stuff, like, just amazing, and you're like, what's going on?
Surfing.
Yeah. Well, on that album, yeah, Friends was the first one, and I heard that and I was like, this is the nicest sounding thing.
Oh yeah.
It was but yeah, The Extremist probably the one, and I believe Motorcycle Song were my favourites.
Get a tone with, because I always think of Satch as having that kind of that either phased or chorused kind of heavy driven kind of vibe going.
Oh well, on Surfing it's that. Something like that.
Oh man, that's
so much fun.
Insane.
And what I liked about Joe was he's got Captain Lee's vibrato because he's all like, it's like hands off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the time he's doing.
Yeah.
He's just hanging by a finger from the guitar.
He was
fretboard.
mega cool for that, like that like jangling, like Cool Number 9.
Yeah.
When he did his live DVD, Cool Number 9, and he's jamming with Jeff Campitelli on the drums, and there's some of the nicest phrasing. Like I took loads of influence from that stuff that he did, just freestyle bluesy Dorian stuff.
But I'm talking of vibrato and tremolo and stuff. I mean, Steve came up with this circular movement that no one else can ever do. No one else can ever do it. And then really... like kind of really wide, wiggly stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I think the two of you should. I mean, thank you very much for your,
Thank you.
okay.
efforts here at sounding like two of the most iconic guitar virtuosos in history.
Oh, I hope we even came close to doing it
And
justice.
it's cool.
I don't know.
it's I don't think anyone should. It's completely fine to have a favourite out of the two, but there's no such thing as one's better than the other.
No. Well, one of them taught the other. And then
Yeah,
one of
that
them
is
kind of
true.
became an evolution of that.
Yeah.
And then
That's
they're both
very-
incredible
how freaky
musicians.
Is that as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if
That
they
is
ever got
mad.
like drunk together and kind of like had it out a bit,
You know what else? No one ever really talks about Steve Vai's production skills.
No.
Like as an engineer producer, like mind blowing. You know, especially for the. Well, I've gone for hours about that.
We could go on for hours about our favourite
I
guitar
think
players.
I'm going to take my stool, leave the shot, leave these two to just jam out with something.
Well, we should swap guitars.
Absolutely.
Yes, we should.
Because you've never
and
properly played a djembe before, have you?
I have not.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Comment below. Perhaps there are other guitar players that you'd like to see, kind of like a shootouts between, and we'll try and do those. But thank you, Rabea. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
excellent playing. Anyway, enjoy this jam out. I've been the captain. I'll see you next time.
else can ever.
What's going on?
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.